These were picked up. There was recently here in Edmonton. Sorry, I'm not supposed to. One of my friends, he says, "Don't lean over so much." Yeah, well, one of my friends through my Discord said you really shouldn't spend so much time leaning over. You should have to sit up more. But recently there was here in Edmonton what's known as the Dark Star comic and toy show, and I had not known about it, and I did not know it existed until I went. I was down at Strathcona Antiques Mall getting some comics there as well. And I was looking on the bulletin board and says, well, let's see what's up here. I was like, hey, wait a minute. That says comic and toy show. Really? I didn't heard of that one. So I wrote down all the information, went home, checked out where it was, and was like, okay, that's a long bus ride. And when the day came, it was like, you know what? I'm going. The weather wasn't perfect, but I went and I had a good time. It was a lot of fun. And I have to admit, there were some good books. I didn't get a whole lot. I took a specific amount of money with me. Probably spent a little more than I should have, but that's okay. But I had a set limit, and I said I wasn't going over that, and I actually spent less than what I was going to go over. So it was all good. I went for quality instead of quantity, although I still got a good amount of books here. And there's a lot of cool vendors. Some of them I got their cards, some of them I didn't. Some of them didn't have cards, or they just wrote down their information on a sticky note and I put it in my wallet, but I don't have that information with me here. This wasn't one of the first booths I had, but I think it was like the third or second one I went to. They had the first 3 issues of Alien Legion by Epic Comics. And well, Epic Comics and Marvel. It's like basically Epic's was an imprint of Marvel. So they had Alien Legion #1, Alien Legion #2, and Alien Legion #3. And now for this series, I have roughly, I think the first either 6 or 8 in a row. I haven't started reading them yet, but now that I have the first 3 to go with the ones that I had, I can now start reading it. And these ones were only $1. And they're in good shape, but they're not in the best shape. It turns out their staples are rusted a little bit. It's not like severe, but it was still, once I got them home and got them under light, I could see it's like, oh, look at the little bit of rust on some of those staples. So they're in okay condition, but they weren't in spectacular condition. Next one I found, I don't know if this was at the same booth or a different booth. Like I said, it was a fun time. It was a fun time, but wow, it just sort of all meshed into one. I met some good people, but I've been looking now since learning about Dave Stevens. And I know this is not a Dave Stevens cover, but since I'm learning about Alien Worlds because of Dave Stevens, I probably should not show that, but yeah, it's fine. Anyway, I like all the artwork on all of these books. So I want to get the whole set of this. And I'm actually going to read them all. I know each one is like, I think, different stories and everything. But yes, so I've been collecting all those Alien World ones. Last time I was here, I wonder if I can actually show that one. Yeah. I think one of the last times I was at the Strathcona Antique Mall, I picked up one of the vendors there had the first 2 issues of War of the Gods Avatar, basically telling the story of the Avatar trilogy for the Forgotten Realms. I was like, cool. And I was glad to have those 2, but they didn't have the third one. And when I was at the show, they actually had this one. I think they had all 3, but like I said, I already had the first 2, so but now I have the complete set, which is good. When this series Danger Girl, when it was brand new, I had like, I don't know, I don't think I had all of them, but it was like, this looks kind of cool. So I decided I was going to read it at the time. And the stories was good, but I don't know what it was. I didn't continue on with it, or because it didn't have a long running, because it had issues, but it had issues. It didn't seem like it was going where I thought it was going to go. So this was more buying it for the cover. And because I remember it from back in the 90s, and I was like, I kind of enjoyed it. So I'll read it again now that I'm a little older. And and it's a J. Scott Campbell. Is that how you say his name? J. Scott Campbell is the artist. I think he's the creator as well. Yeah, I can't show that one. Let's get that one out of there. What? I don't think I can show that one on the stream. The other one that I just pulled away, it's covers for issue #1 of Gun Honey. And I'm sorry, I can't show that one on stream. I mean, some people would say, oh, it doesn't matter. It kind of does. But yes, and I want to pick up as many of these as I can. I know for some reason they're a lot more expensive now. Maybe that's because of just J. Scott Campbell, because I think maybe one of the first series he did where it was actually his work. People are just like, oh, everybody's got to have it. So they're a little more expensive. I can't remember if I actually paid 10 or not. I might have. I can't remember. But that's a great cover. This one was not so much a cover buy, although it turns out this is a one per store variant, and I got it for about $5 or maybe a little less than that. But it's Higher Earth #1, and if you've watched any of my previous streams, you know I have picked up a whole bunch of the Higher Earth books. I found them in a dollar bin at WeBook Inn, so I don't quite have them all yet. But I'm close. I think I have only 2 or 3 left to have the whole series. And it's just various covers of whichever covers I can get is fine. But I have to admit, I was pretty glad to find this cover. Kind of cool, but I'm more interested in Higher Earth for the story. And supposedly they might actually become a TV show or a movie or something like that, but I'm more concerned about buying it for finally being able to start reading the story, because now I have issue #1. And this one I found near the end of the day at the show. It's a New 52 Superboy #0. I don't think they had #1, or maybe I don't think I have #1 yet. But one of the things I've decided I'm going to do is try to get all the issue 0s and issue 1s for the New 52, and that for most of them that's going to be it. And I do have another stack of books over there that I found recently. But yes, Superboy #0, and also got this. But here we have Last Days of the Justice Society of America special, 68 pages, no ads. Look at that, no ads. I love that. So by Roy Thomas, David Ross, and Mike Gustovich. Just need 1 second. Oh, I probably should not show that one. Anyways, that's another series I'm picking up. Anyway, I don't know. Should I censor that one? I don't know if it really matters for that. You don't really see anything. It's all covered and everything. But Vanguard Illustrated #1. This is another series because I got interested in Dave Stevens. I looked at the covers and looked at all the books, and it's like, I think I want to get most of them. So that was a good pickup for me. Now this was a great pickup. I was really happy for these. It's got issue 4, issue 6, issue 7 of Pirates of Darkwater, and I have been looking to finish this set for a while now, and I could not find them hardly anywhere. So I found these very minty copies at one of the main vendors there, and these ones are well kept. I was stoked to find this. I was very happy. It says, now a 9-issue limited series because you demanded it. So there's at least 9 issues. I think it actually had more. I think they changed it to 12. I can't remember. But I'm getting all of these, and I now have most of them. I can't remember how many of them I still need. Maybe 2 or 3 at most. Really cool. Pirates of Darkwater. I mean, I was more of a 80s kid, not really in the 90s. I just had gone into my 20s. But I think Pirates of Darkwater was it an 80s series or a 90s series? I don't know. It was right around that time but I didn't care. It came on, and of course I was a big kid. Yeah, I still watch cartoons, so it doesn't matter. But it was like I had to have these. And I didn't really know what it was when I first bought it. But I saw this cover and I was like, well, that's a cool cover. And these ones and this, I think that they were in a $2 bin. I don't think they were $5 a piece. I think they were $2 a piece. And I was like, and I've heard good things about this now, about Star Blazers. The Japanese version is a long-running manga series that has gone on for years and years and years. It's interesting. I found just recently. It was also Star Blazers, and I had forgotten I had this and I had that, but it's not the same series. This one was a 4-issue miniseries from Comico, but they only had issue 1. Now, I'm going to flip this over, and this was the find of the show. When I first saw it, I was sure it was the first appearance of one character and not the first appearance of another. But I was at the show and going through the bins, and I found this in the same. I had showed those Alien Legion ones. It was in with those. Those were $1. This was not $1. The vendor had a price of $25 on that. And you'll see the sticker on the bag when I flip it over. But it's a Dave Stevens book, and I was surprised. I thought it was the first appearance of Betty Page. That's what I thought it was. I know there's a first cameo appearance of Rocketeer. I think that's issue 1. Issue 2 is the full appearance of Rocketeer, and issue 3 is the Betty Page. But I thought this was the Betty Page one. I thought the Betty Page one was issue 2. And so I was talking to the guy, and it says issue 1 is the appearance of the Rocketeer. Issue 2 is Betty Page. At least I think I got that right. I can't remember. All I know is this actually is issue 2 of Star Slayer, The Log of the Jolly Roger, with the first full appearance of the Rocketeer, Cliff Secord, in comics. I had thought it was the first appearance of Betty Page, But that's issue 3. I did not realize that till I got home. So I was talking to the vendor, and I was picking it up, and he had 25, and I was like, oh, I don't know if I want to pay 25 for that. I thought, well, for Betty Page, and when I was talking to him, it's like, well, this one's the Betty Page one, and the issue 1 is the Rocketeer one. And so he says, well, you know what, I can do $20 on that. I had to take it. I had to take $20. First appearance of Betty Page, that's what I thought. But it's actually first appearance of the Rocketeer. Really cool. So I now have a whole bunch of these Star Slayer ones. I have the Star Slayer one that's the first appearance of Grimjack. I have to admit, that was a good find. Like that. Star Slayer, The Log of the Jolly Roger, issue number 2. Now I pretty much have most of the Dave Stevens Rocketeer stuff that I want. And this cover, of course, is by Mike Grell. And like I said, there was that issue in Gun Honey, but I can't show that off. Even if it's maybe okay, I'd be like, no, not gonna do it.